Okay, hey, it's Justin Clapper, JC, back here with Wrestling Travel on the YouTube, on your YouTube dial. Still trying to perfect it. I'm here with AJ Steele. AJ, I just got to tell you before I start, the worst thing about what I do here is trying to come up with an intro. And I don't have a name for the show. We're pretty low tech here right now in the middle of this, but I just want to say, AJ Steele, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. It's an honor to get to do this with you.
Yeah, we've been looking forward to you. A couple weeks ago, you were one of the many people that helped out with the Mania Crawl that we did, Wrestling Travel, in search of. See, it's the beginning that always gets me. What we did is we raised money for the Red Cross. We raised over $3,300 thanks to videos and promotions from guys like you all over. So $3,300, like I say it every time. You think about it and you're like, man, it doesn't seem like it's a whole lot of money, but in these times when you don't know when your next dollar is coming from, for wrestling fans to dig out in their pockets and help out, $3,300 sure is a lot. So and you're coming to us from the great state of Minnesota, right?
Yes, sir.
So, and your dog is as well.
Yeah, he's being real crazy right now.
Fantastic.
Finally.
Cool. I'm going to say right now, if we have an edit in this video, which hopefully we do, where it says recording on mine is right above your eyebrow. So I do think I'm cutting your head off. So there you are. A little bit better. Hopefully it works out. But it is what it is. It's low tech. So, so how long have you're from Minnesota. How long have you been wrestling then, AJ?
So about 2013, I went out to Georgia. I trained in WWA 4 with Curtis Hughes. Did some stuff out there. Great group of guys. Got to do shows and whatnot, but, not making crazy money, not really, just kind of doing the grind. Eventually I was, living in cars and whatnot, just trying to be the next great one. And ended up coming back home and kind of looking for a promotion out this way where it'd be a little bit more support, I guess, and whatnot. And lucky enough to find the AWF and a couple other trainers and started going from there, man.
That's awesome. Now, I know I just did a video with referee RJ Wilkins. Do you guys train? Now, he's training at the academy?
Correct.
Did you train at the same place with him when he moved back to Minnesota or currently? Or?
Funny thing. I met RJ probably 2 years ago. He came to an AWF show, and the kid was just all about getting involved. And I kind of laughed about it because nowadays you don't find a lot of people that are, you got to start at the bottom. You set the rings up, you do all the crap work, and then hopefully one day you can get in there. And RJ was all about it, man. Just wanted to sink his teeth in and tell me what I can do, And we ended up almost like we're basically best friends. Like, we ride to all the shows together. We do everything together because the kid's drive is out of this world. So, currently he trains at the academy. I'm hoping to go soon. I got a lot of guys there right now that are wanting me to go. Obviously we can't right now, but hopefully after this I'll be there with him.
Fantastic. Yeah, Minnesota. Now, all of my buddies at Wrestling Travel, I call they're quote unquote my friends when I talk about this. There's only about one guy who supports me in this. Growing up here in Wisconsin, being about 4 hours away from Minneapolis, and me being much older than you, the AWA was my jam. I love the AWA. I love the history over there in Minnesota. Minnesota is basically, and it still is. There's a lot of stuff going on, but what a hotbed of professional wrestling. You look at the legends and names that have come out of the area where you're at right now, and it's amazing.
Oh, it's incredible. Honestly, it's when you look back in like the older setups of wrestling, Minnesota is one of the the top places to be. You know, if you wanted to be a wrestler, you went to Minnesota. You know, and it's just cool to kind of see where it's come to now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure what is there heavy on wrestling, the AWF, Midwest. There's all kinds of promotions
Yeah.
out there that maybe not known on the national or international scene. I'm hoping to change that with these videos, but there's a lot of great wrestling talent still coming out of Minnesota. Not just from one promotion, but a lot of, and what the whole thing is great. What with this pandemic going on, not great, but what I think is once this is over, people are going to want to go check out independent wrestling. We've had enough of staying in our house. I'm a wrestling fan. I used to say it to everybody. I run into wrestling fans, try to get them to go to a show, and they're like, I've always wanted to go watch like a WWE show. I don't want to go watch the amateur pro wrestling that's happening in the high school down. And I'm like, whoa, it's anything but amateur pro. It's pro wrestling, son. And you're going to find a lot of people that you can go right up and speak to. They can hear you boo, and you can talk to them. Here I can go meet AJ Steele, and he was trained by Curtis Hughes. That's cool. I can find out what motivated him to get in. And you're actually there's nothing wrong with buying a ticket to go to WWE or AEW and sitting in the rafters. Entertaining, right. Love it. We all love it.
Yep.
But man, if you haven't been to an independent show, you gotta go at least once because you're gonna fall in love.
I mean, I don't think I could have said it better. You know, WWE, AEW, all them, that's a good place to be. But independent wrestling is more where you're gonna see what you would expect one of those shows to be. You know, all the guys and girls, they're crazy hungry. They're wanting to do anything they can to keep them in your mind. So, you know, the stuff that we're doing out here, you're not going to see on your regular Monday Night Raw, you know, because we have more passion. I'm not saying that they're not passionate, but I'm going to tell you this right now. You know, whether there's 5,000 people or you and your grandmother, I'm going to go put on the best show that I can because it's who I am and what I love to do. You know, and that's every independent wrestler you'll find, bottom line.
Right. And what I like about it, if I'm a fan and I am able to separate myself from being in or out, but no matter what, we're always a fan. But as a fan, independent wrestling is the guys on the rise, some of the guys coming down from that rise, and guys like myself that maybe their rise was only a little bit. They're right here. They're just the guys that just stayed where they were, but on independent wrestling, and it's a blast. I never get sick of going, so I always encourage people. And there's a lot. I cannot wait for this to be over because one of the things I know I'm going to do is go to more independent wrestling, whether I can help out or whether I can just watch. I always go hoping I can just watch, but I seem to get roped into doing something. But what are some of now? You've been wrestling in 2013. You trained in Georgia.
Right.
What are some of you got a list of some favorite opponents that you were able to step in the ring with thus far in your career?
I've wrestled quite a few people. I will say I don't know that he's crazy big up here right now, but down in Georgia. So Heath Slater came from WWA 4, but there was a guy there named Dogma, and he was like 6'10", I'm gonna say, just looked like Duke Nukem, and an absolute monster in the ring, and then, you know, absolute teddy bear outside of it, just one of the greatest guys ever. But, you know, me being about 5'11" and not that, it was definitely, we had some battles, you know, and it was good to kind of be able to see where we could go. You know, he's probably one of my favorite guys to wrestle. There's a couple of guys up here that I like. I'm not going to mention them because they'll come after me.
Well, I realize when I'm asking this question, it's kind of like asking to name your favorite kid, and when you say a favorite opponent, you leave a lot of people out there that would be right up there. But Dogma, is he still working?
He was, as of probably last year, the year before. I kind of lost contact once I started really hitting it up here. I've been focusing as many people up here as I can find. So I haven't talked to him recently, but last time I heard from him, he was doing Deep South and stuff like that.
Well, let's hope he catches this video on YouTube here. So, how about this? Let's switch gears here. How about some opponents, whether they are big names, independent names, or names from the past? Some dream matches that you wish you could get in the ring with. Do you have a few of those? I know everybody's got at least one or two in their back pocket.
If I could go up against anybody on the planet today, there'd be two people that I'd want to face. It would be AJ Styles, clearly, or Randy Orton. And I say that for this reason. Orton is a different type of wrestler. Like nowadays, you have everyone that's jumping off the ropes and they got to do 700 spots to try to be cool. Orton isn't that way, and I feel that the way he puts work together, it would be an amazing matchup. As far as Styles, I followed him quite a bit, and I just feel that we could probably put a good one on. So, that's probably the only two right now that I can think of just off the top of my head.
I got a chance to run into AJ Styles in 2015 at Chikara in Easton, Pennsylvania. He was teaming up with the Jacksons. You know how they do the King of Trios, but could not have been a nicer dude to run into. I find myself saying that a lot about people, but what a great guy outside of the ring with the fans. At least on that day, it was right. It was fantastic. Oh, so yeah. We're in the middle of this pandemic. I've been asking all the guys that are still working, what are you doing to keep from going crazy? What are you doing to keep in ring shape and just that wrestling mentality?
I clean carpet currently, but when I'm not cleaning carpet, I'm watching as much wrestling as I can. Honestly, I do a lot of notebook writing, so I'll write a match out with somebody that doesn't even exist. I'll just make a name up and put a match together, whether they go over, I go over, and kind of play that out in my head. Just because, for me and most indie wrestlers, we want to try to do as many moves as we can. So it's a way for me to, when we are able to go back into at least training or getting back in the ring, then I have a couple of ideas of things that people might not have seen me do yet. As far as staying in shape, it's basically at home stuff. So, I got a gym here. It's not like being in the gym in general, but it's, keeping off that beer weight. So that's a good thing.
Well, in our current condition, I actually just got off the phone with my sister prior to speaking with you. My nephew is going into his senior year of high school, football player, just trying to work out, just hoping he doesn't lose that senior season. And she's telling me, I got to find some workout equipment. And I said, man, from what I hear, the prices of workout equipment has skyrocketed. So you might be sitting on a gold mine there, even with a little bit of weights in the house. So it's a crazy time. Yeah. What different promotion? What was the last? We're in this pandemic. What was the last? Do you remember the date of your last match? What you had and what promotion? Where you're at? I know you were up in the Upper Peninsula not too long ago.
March 13th.
Your last match?
Yep, March 13th. It was MJPW.
Right.
And RJ Wilkins was actually with me on that. Group of us went up there. The promoter's absolute amazing dude. Him and the guy that he works with, they're just amazing. And it was a good crowd. We didn't think it was going to be our last show. I'm thinking if we all would have known that, it would have definitely gotten a lot harder, but it was a lot of fun. So little side story. I was a heel in MJPW, and I hit the guy that I wrestled with a pineapple.
Oh boy! And
the crowd ate it up. I mean, I had little kids like telling me it was so fun. Michigan's a good place to wrestle because the crowds get into it like crazy into it. So it's not hard to try to pull them in. They get into it pretty much just because they're there. So for that to be the last show that we got to do for now, it was really cool.
Yes, and I have been up Norway, Michigan. I believe that was where your last show was. Am I correct? Was it Norway? Ironwood?
Iron River.
Iron River. There's a lot. There's Iron Mountain, Ironwood, and Iron River that I get messed up. But I have been up to all three, plus Norway, at different shows. What a great crowd, great fans in the UP. But can you imagine that first show back now once this is over, when they finally can see live wrestling again? I mean, I just really, and I don't know if it's just because I want this to be this way, but I do feel that once we come out the other side of this, that the fans are really going to be turned up, to quote the kids, ready for wrestling.
Turned up. I love it.
I don't even know if I used that correctly, man. You got to tell me.
I think that the first couple of shows, are gonna be just out of this world, no matter where you go. I don't think any promotion is gonna suffer in the fact of a smaller crowd, just because everybody has that edge right now, and all the wrestlers want to wrestle, all the fans want to see it. So the shows are gonna be on point, and they're gonna be really good, and you're not gonna want to miss any of them.
Right, and as it gets warmer over here, I just cannot wait. I'm just hoping that we can all just pull through this stay-at-home order and get back to business as much as normal as we can. Now, as we kind of wind down here, I want to start giving you the last words, but where can I follow AJ Steele? Can you give us your social media? I don't know if you have merch, but how can I, as a fan, get all the AJ Steele I can during this time I'm sitting at home?
So I have a AJ Steele Facebook page. That's just AJ Steele. I do have an Instagram. It's, I believe, AJ Steele 18. I'd have to
scrolling across the bottom right now.
Oh.
I mean, not right now, but as this is coming out, we're gonna take care of you. So we'll look it up.
So I have an Instagram. I have AJ Steele 5 is my Twitter. And then I do have a Snapchat, if that's still a thing. But as far as merch, I just got the rest of my stuff ordered today. Cool. So I'll be having hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and wristbands. And I have currently my own playing card. So once everything else gets here, I got the playing cards now, but everything else is still on its way. I'll throw them up on the AJ Steele Facebook page, and just, anything. I'll do anything for anybody, Yeah,
so. Anything to support. I know our fans. This goes out. We're out of Manchester, England, even though we're anybody that can help out. We'll maybe show some clips of your matches in here. But AJ Steele, an absolute pleasure to speak with you. We cannot thank you enough for helping us out during Mania Crawl with the Red Cross. But the last words are always yours here. If you got any last words for the fans, anybody watching this, what would they be?
You know what? I know we're in a tough spot right now, but we all just got to band together. We are going to get through it. And when the quarantine gets lifted, I guarantee you, come out and watch us, and we'll make you remember some stuff that you won't see on a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. I absolutely guarantee you.